What up, people? Coach V, New Breed Boxing. What to do if you've had a bad sparring session? Great question somebody asked me the other day. What to do if you had a bad sparring session? Well, if you're new to boxing or if you've been around for a long time, if you've never had a bad sparring session and you continue to step into the ring to progress and develop yourself as a fighter, it's coming. Prepare yourself. Mentally and spiritually, you're going to want to prepare yourself as best as you can because it's inevitable. Think of all the best fighters you've ever seen in your life. I don't care if you're the most physically gifted, most athletic, toughest person to walk the face of the earth. I can guarantee you, if you spend any length of time in this sport, you are going to step into that ring one day and get your ass handed to you, period. It's just gonna happen. If you continue to level up and try to progress, you're gonna have that experience. I don't care who you are. There's always gonna be somebody out there that's just gonna one-up you one day. And it could even be somebody that you thought you had under control. And one day they might just wake up on a different side of the bed and come through and surprise you, and you might just be having the worst day of your life. And you gotta realize, man, you signed up for a combat sport. This is an extreme sport. That's not normal to willingly engage in hand-to-hand combo. That's not normal. You're not normal. So you have to prepare yourself. That's like saying you want to be a samurai, but you don't want to get cut. But you're gonna play with rubber swords your whole career? Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really get into a combat sport without preparing yourself mentally for the trials and tribulations that are to come. And not only in the ring, but outside the ring afterwards, the aftermath. I'm gonna give you a good example. There's a fighter, I don't wanna say his name. He's a pretty well-known fighter. He's retired now though, he was a pro fighter. He used to, after every sparring session, he would cry. To be honest with you, he was a bit of a soft touch as an individual. It was very surprising to me that he actually committed to the sport of boxing. And from the beginning of his training, I never really thought he would last, to be honest with you. But I was very young also at the time. So, I didn't really care. I was just basically doing my thing and, sink or swim, you know what I mean? That was my mentality. Now that I'm a coach, I'm a little bit more, aware of the circumstances that can make or break a guy, as far as that, on the competitive side of it. But anyway, this guy used to cry after every sparring session like a baby. And he used to do it in front of everybody. I used to be like, bro, show some dignity, man. Go in a damn locker room or something. You sitting, he used to actually, sometimes he would lay on the ring. Wow, we were doing round robin. Guys jumping in and out the ring, sparring, get in, get out. There's 20 guys going back to back, sparring, boom, 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 boom. This guy's just laying around. He'd either be on the ring still or next to the ring crying, just depressing. And I'm like, when you do that to yourself, you're torturing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta realize, dude, this is part of the game. You're getting punched in the face. You're getting hit in the body. You're getting the wind knocked out of you. You're getting knocked senseless sometimes. I mean, there's no way around it. Yeah, you can do conditional sparring up to a certain point, but if you got any intention on actually competing for real, it's like you want to be a soldier. You can't play with freaking paintballs all the time, and then the first time you're in the field, you get shot at for real. You know what I'm saying? You're acting like surprised. Like, dude, you got to prepare for the level that you plan to engage on. So yeah, eventually you're gonna have to take the training wheels off, get your ass in the ring, and get hit in the face and see what it's like to get rocked. And that's the second, phase of sparring, is basically body hardening and conditioning. And that's where people kind of don't realize that, you punch in the bag is one side of it. You on the floor, that's one side of the sport. But once you step into the ring, that's the other side of the sport. That's where the invariables come into place. Like, how you are as a person and your character has more to do with your progression in the sport than you would think. It's not just about having a perfect jab or having good fundamentals. We got to see past that. That's one dimension of it. The part of it that we can't teach you is, can you take a punch? And not only can you take a punch, are you able to keep your wits about you and adjust while the game is in play and figure out how to circumvent the obstacles and one up your opponent consistently and just get the better of him eventually and either stop him or outpoint him, outmaneuver him, and be the winner in the eyes of the judges. That's the whole objective. And not being able to take a punch is something that you can develop through body hardening to some extent. But the truth of the matter is, if some people are just too frail. I mean, I keep it real with you. I mean, it's kind of sad to say, but some people are just not built for this sport. You might have like bone density issues, or you might be like super injury prone, or you might have a low pain tolerance. If any of those things are you, then to be honest with you, definitely pursue a different sport, because boxing is a harsh place. There's no sympathy and no mercy. This ain't the place for your mom to come and put a blanket around your back and give you a cup of hot cocoa because you sitting over here getting all emotional because you got your face punched. This ain't the place for you then, man. And to be honest with you, yeah, you could develop that hardness. And that guy that I was talking about that used to cry all the time, he actually wound up going taking the sport to a level I never would have foreseen. So he wound up getting over that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was his own personal way of dealing with it. I definitely don't recommend that. I think it's kind of, it's kind of embarrassing and it's kind of negative. But I mean, he wound up digging in deep, and that was his way of handling it. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's just one individual. Most guys I know, they go home and they give themselves that pep talk in the mirror, and because when you getting hit in the face, and especially if you catch any damage, like your nose is bleeding bad or your eyes are watering up and stuff like that, or you get the wind knocked out of you, at that moment you're gonna be like, yo, what the hell am I doing here in this ring? Why am I volunteering for this? That's why you gotta love it. If you don't love this sport, you are not gonna last. And again, if you're not willing to cross the other side of your fears and your limitations and what the average person always avoids is pain and punishment. Everybody's looking to escape that at any cost. They're just seeking pleasure, chasing one happy moment after the next, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not used to pain and punishment, and you're planning on getting in the sport of boxing, get ready for it. So there's drills you can do, medicine ball drills to condition your core. You can start doing some light sparring with people who are a little smaller than you to get used to getting hit. That's going to be very helpful. Because unfortunately, myself, I came from an old school coach that just threw me in the ring. Again, sink or swim with somebody that was my size, that was way more experienced than me, that looked at me as food. You know what I'm saying? They were just like, yo, I'm taking this guy out. Because I didn't look like, I looked like I could handle myself. So they wasn't going easy back then. Again, I don't recommend that. And if you're in the gym with that's how they get down, I definitely would recommend switching coaches. But just remind yourself, you're gonna get hit. You're in a combat sport. You're volunteering to engage in unarmed hand-to-hand combat with another human being that doesn't want you to hurt him either. So it's gonna be like, you gotta have that kill or die mentality. You know what I'm saying? Anything less than that, you're just gonna be an accident waiting to happen. And again, boxing is not a game that you play. No disrespect to any other sports where you shoot in a basketball. I mean, football is the only exception, I'd say, maybe rugby or whatever, but baseball, basketball, these other sports, a bad day on the baseball field is maybe a little depressing, but you're not walking home with a tooth missing. You know what I'm saying? It's real. Boxing is not for the faint of heart, man. Don't come with that soft mindset, man, because otherwise you're gonna be in to get your feelings crushed. And if you think you was upset, about the little obstacles in your life before this, it doesn't get any easier if you're gonna be boxing. So again, prepare yourself mentally and spiritually. Try to put yourself through little trials and tribulations. Work on your pain tolerance with body hardening drills like the medicine ball to the core. Have somebody in your house put some boxing gloves on. To be honest with you, I know it sounds crazy. You should have somebody, a little smaller than you or whatever if you're new to the sport. Maybe your girlfriend or, or maybe, you know, your little brother or something, put the gloves on and punch you a little bit, rough you up, kind of get you inoculated to it. Because getting used to getting hit is what a lot of people don't do before they get into the ring. And again, punching the bag all crazy and everything, that's cool. You may look tough while you're doing that, but dishing it out ain't the same as taking it. So once you get used to taking these punches, you know, that'll kind of alleviate a lot of the stress. Because a lot of times you get overwhelmed from getting hit because you've never been hit before. Once you get inoculated to getting hit, then you can kind of see through the smoke and everything starts to kind of clear up for you, and you can kind of see what's going on, and then regroup when you get hit and figure out what you did wrong in action and adjust your game while the game is in play. And next time, come back stronger and smarter. Hope you found this informative. If you did, like, subscribe, comment below. Go check out my Instagram, coach.v_. Get ready, man. This ain't gonna be easy, but you stick with the sport and it's gonna be rewarding. Put your comments, what you think, in the comment section, please. If you had any good ideas on how you cope with hard sparring or dealing with a bad session. And till the next time, we up out of here. Out.